Hey y'all, here are your November 5. You'll need a golf ball and a set of medium heavy and medium light weights. So we have your octopus arm, your golf ball pickup, Cossack squat, tricep extension, and King Arthur. So your octopus arm, one of my favorites. You could do this seated or standing. Let's start with your left arm, and you are just exploring your environment like a curious octopus looking for something good to eat. So this is a free form, whatever feels good kind of movement. You could do mostly wrist, fingers. You could bring your arm up and down. You could spiral it around to the back. I'm doing this seated, but you could do it standing or you could do it seated in a chair. When you get to a stopping point, it just feels like it goes, oop, won't go any further. Just go back the other direction. So it could be mostly your arm. You could let your shoulder and neck move and let your rib cage move. See what this feels like to do an exploratory movement with your arm and shoulder. Feel that tissue sliding and gliding. And then take a little rest if you're comfortable closing your eyes. Close your eyes and notice left and right side. And then we'll do arm number 2. So you may have noticed just this tiny little bit of movement. Your arms feel very different. So we're allowing the tissue to slide and glide. This is not bicep curl. It's not nothing. It's just getting some movement, getting some release work, sliding and gliding. That tissue could be way up high, could be way back behind you. So all this should feel really good. Spiraling, circling, letting your arm move in whatever way that feels good. It doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. It could just be tiny, could be big. Okay, we did a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right. Take another rest, close your eyes, and notice left and right sides. This move I'm calling golf ball pickup. So it's like, and you see the guys on the PGA Tour reach down and get the golf ball at the end. That's exactly what we're doing. It's very similar to our single leg deadlift we did a few months ago, but we're not using weight. And that's all I'll show. The point of this is just to get some mobility in your hip and legs, working on standing balance. I've made a little hole to stick my ball in with my loop band just so it doesn't roll away. So I'm going to hold my ball in my left hand, stand on my right leg, and try to reach down and set my ball on the ground, and then stand back up. So kind of single leg deadlifty, but you can do whatever you want with this knee. You can bend it. Let's do 5 of these guys down and up. So I'm setting my ball down on the floor, standing back up, and then reaching down and picking it up. So I'm calling that 2, right? So the set down and the pick up. Here's number 3. When we get to the other side, I'm going to turn and face y'all so you can see what I'm doing. That's 3. We got 2 to go. So I don't have to be so straightforward. I can let my back leg do whatever it wants. You could kind of play with this. You could put your other hand on the ground. If this makes you nervous, balance-wise, find a dining chair or put your hand on the wall. Okay, was that 5? That was 5. Now I'm going to face front so you can see what this looks like from the front. All right, so I'm standing now on my left leg holding the ball in my right hand. I'm going to hinge forward, put the ball down. You could use this hand out here to help with balance. Notice what that feels like to set the ball on the floor rather than dropping it. It's a little harder to go low to set the ball down. So what if you can't go this low? If you have a knee or hip that stops you from getting that low, bring a dining chair over, bring the floor up to you, and set the ball on the dining chair. So there's a way you could step down into this, working down to where you're comfortable setting the ball on the floor. Oh, now I lost count. We better do 2 more. So my knee gets to bend, the standing knee. And then this should feel like work and mobility for your hip. So we're working standing balance, hip mobility, leg strength. Last one. Okay, so we did our hinging forward, standing on one leg, golf ball pickup. And then for this version of your Cossack Squat, see if you can hold a heavy weight close to your belly or your chest. Take your feet wide-ish, whatever feels comfortable. We're going to lower down into a low-ish wide squat. Shift our weight over. So one knee is bent, one knee is straight. Shift your weight to the second leg. Try to stay low if you can. Go back to the middle and stand up. We're just doing 5 of these guys. So you got your low squat. Shift your weight to one leg. Other leg, one leg straight, one leg bent. Shift through the center. Side number 2, back to center. Stand up. We got 3 to go. I'm sitting as low as I can comfortably. Shift your weight. Shift your weight. Back to center. Stand up. We got 2. Low squat. I'm sticking my tail feathers out behind me, pushing my chest into my weight as I boogie side to side. Stand up. Last one. Low squat. Boogie to the side. Boogie to the other side, back to center. So one thing to watch for as you're doing this one, notice, are you actually facing forward? Do you start to shift? Do you start to drop that back knee in? So can you keep your torso straight forward as you do that shift and into your low squat? We're working tricep extension for our upper body strength this month. Hinge forward and find your medium light-ish weights. You're going to bring your elbows right next to your rib cage or your waist. Press your arms back so that they're straight alongside your waist, like they would match up with the seam on the side of your t-shirt. Bend your elbows. Push straight back. I'm just doing 10. Bend your elbows. So I'm trying to keep my upper body really, or upper arm, I should say, really still, and my upper body still. I'm not letting my weight swing me around. I'm doing this slow and controlled. That's 4, 3, 2, last one. So with that one, we're working back of your upper arm, core strength to keep your whole body still. And I do feel my legs and hips working just being in that position. And then come back to the floor for your King Arthur. This one we're going to do a little stretchier version. Pad your knee if you need to. So earlier in the year, in January, I think we had done this as a more organization move where you're thinking about pushing your knee down, pulling your pubic bone forward, and keeping all of this really organized. That's a good way to start this one. When I do that, I feel a big old stretch in the front of my hip and quad. Then you could start to play with sitting your hips back a little bit and pressing them forward, just to a point that it feels like you're getting a little stretch. It doesn't have to be a real big move. If this does feel like a good thing to walk your foot a little bit out, you could get a deeper stretch here for your both inner thighs, front of this hip, and then you could sit your hips back. So as much of this feels really good today, if it feels good to pause in one of these spots and hang out, pause there. Your basic move was one knee down, other knee at 90. Taking a big deep breath. So I'll turn to face you to show side number 2. I got hips level, shoulders level. You might just stay here. Breathe. Think of driving your knee down a little bit, pubic bone forward. Will give me that nice hip stretch, quad stretch. You could start to rock back and forth if this feels like a good thing. You might even be able to sit your butt back on your heel. Maybe take that front foot a little more forward. So I'm still staying pretty squared up to the front. Just adding a little hip mobility. Take another big deep breath. Big exhale.